This video tutorial is for mile marker 1, practice 1, questions 5 through 7. Questions 5, 6, and 7 are essentially asking us the same type of question but with different problems. So in the A part of each question, we're asked to name the angle-pair relationship that we observe in the picture. So let's review those for a moment because there are 7 different relationships that we could name here. We've got 4 relationships that produce congruent angles. So that's going to be our vertical angles, alternate interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding angles. We also have 3 relationships that are supplementary. So 3 pairs that produce supplementary angles would be linear pairs, same side interior angles, and same side exterior. Now, if you are having trouble with these problems, it is imperative that you study that vocab so that you can better identify those angles. So if we look at our diagram, we have the 65-degree angle, and we have this other angle labeled 5x. And I'm hoping that you observe that they're on the same side of the transversal. They can't be vertical because they don't share a vertex. They're not in corresponding positions, and they're not a linear pair. Again, they don't share a vertex. So we narrow it down to same side interior and same side exterior. Now, because they're on the exterior of the 2 parallel lines, we can conclude that they are same side exterior angles. So for this example, we are going with same side exterior. I don't have a lot of room up here. I'm going to write SSE. When you do this on the real mile marker, you need to write it out. All right, letter B, 5B. So now we're asked to write an equation and solve for x. Again, the type of equation that we write is going to depend on which relationship is demonstrated. So I know these aren't congruent, but remember that if this was one of our congruent angle pairs, we said the angles have equal measures. Since they're supplementary, we know the sum of the angle measures equal 180. So that's going to tell us what type of equation to write. That tells us that the 2 angles, when we add them, we have to get 180. So our equation is going to be 65 plus 5x equals 180. All right, now the rest is just algebra. So we're going to start by subtracting 65 from both sides. On the left side, we still have 5x. And on the right side, we have 115. And then we're going to divide both sides by that coefficient of x, the 5. When we do that, x is now by itself, and 115 divided by 5 is 23. So x is equal to 23. So that is the second answer for question number 5. Question 6 is exactly the same as question 5 with just a different picture. So again, just to help us out, because we are studying, let's bring down our information again about these different angle pairs. We need to, again, be able to identify them. So if you're struggling with identifying them, there'll be a separate presentation for that. So you can look for that, or you can also look on Quizlet. But let's take a look at these 2 angles that were given. I notice again they're on the same side of the transversal. This is my transversal now. I can see these are the parallel lines because they have the parallel line markings. They're on the same side. They're on the interior, which makes them, you guessed it, same side interior angles. For the sake of me writing on a tiny iPad screen, I'm going to write SSI. Again, on the mile marker, you want to write that out so that it's really clear. Same side interior. All right, we said same side interior angles. That's going to be one of our supplementary angle pairs. So a lot like number 5, we're going to write an equation where the sum of the 2 angles is 180. So we could write, and it doesn't matter which one we write first, 4x plus 72 equals 180. All right, so now we can just solve this two-step algebraic equation, subtract 72 from both sides, and then we're left with 4x on the left. And when we subtract 72 from 180, we're left with 108. All right, so now we want to divide both sides by 4. Again, you can use a calculator on the mile marker. I might think about that. 100 divided by 4 is 25. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So when I put 25 and 2 together, I get 27. So our value of x is 27. All right, we've made it to the very last questions. Again, let's just get our information down here to help us review. Hopefully you can identify this angle pair pretty easily because it's one we've been talking about since our very first unit of study this year, and that is that these are vertical angles. So they share a vertex and they are directly opposite one another. If we look at our list, vertical angles are not supplementary, but they are one of our congruent angle pairs. Okay, I'm going to abbreviate angles there. All right, so they're one of our congruent pairs. So this is where in number 7 on this practice, we will use a different equation because their sum does not equal 180. Instead, what we know that'll help us find x here is that those are the same angles, the same angle measure, I should say. So if one angle is 120 degrees, the other angle is also 120 degrees. So when we set up this equation, we're going to say that the angle represented by the expression 3x must be equal, to 120 degrees. So now if we just divide both sides by 3, this one's actually an easier one to solve. 120 divided by 3 is 40. X is equal to 40.